All right, let's get right into it. What's the fastest way to lose someone's respect? It's being available all the time. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why your constant presence is absolutely destroying your value, and more importantly, how to weaponize your absence.
And this quote from Robert Greene really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. The principle is just so simple, yet so powerful. Overexposure makes you seem common. It doesn't matter how great you are, if you're always around, you're going to be taken for granted.
You know, we're all taught that being reliable is this amazing virtue, that being there for people 24/7 is what makes you a good person. But that's the exact mindset that leads you straight into the availability trap. It's where you go from being seen as that reliable rock to being treated as, well, completely disposable.
So what's really happening here is you're sending out this subconscious biological signal. When you answer every text in 2 seconds flat, when you say yes to every single plan that comes your way, you're not signaling reliability. You're signaling omnipresence. It basically screams, I have nothing better to do. And let's be honest, human nature doesn't respect what it can get without any effort.
Now, you might think this is just some weird social quirk, right? But it's not. It's actually rooted in some pretty basic economics. Human respect, it turns out, is governed by the very same rules of supply and demand that set the price of everything else in the world.
And the key to understanding all of this is something called the scarcity principle. This isn't just a gimmick for selling limited edition products. Nope, it's a deep-seated cognitive bias. Our brains are literally hardwired to believe that whatever is rare must be valuable, and whatever is everywhere must be cheap.
And this slide just illustrates it perfectly. Think about it. Water is essential to survive, but it's cheap because it's, well, everywhere. Diamonds? They have almost zero practical use, but they're incredibly valuable simply because they're rare. When you flood the market with your presence, your perceived value just tanks. But the moment you pull back, you artificially constrain the supply, and boom, demand spikes.
And this isn't just about your social life, by the way. This plays out big time in the professional world. There's even research that shows being busy has become a powerful status symbol. A busy person is seen as a scarce resource, someone with skills that are in high demand. Their lack of availability is a direct signal of their value as human capital.
Okay, so we've covered the what, the basic economics of it all. But now, let's get into the why. Let's explore the psychological power that your absence can actually have on the human mind. This is where it gets really interesting.
This is the big fear, isn't it? This is what holds most people back. They think, if I'm not always around, they'll just forget about me. But that's the thinking of the average person. The truth is, absence doesn't just put out the fire. When you use it right, it fans it into a raging inferno. You see, the human brain hates a vacuum. When you disappear, you create this empty space, and the other person's imagination rushes in to fill it. It starts working for you. Their mind panics a little, asking, where are they? What are they doing? It replays your best moments and amplifies your positive qualities. You literally take up more space in their head by being physically absent than you ever could by sitting right next to them.
I love this quote from the 17th century courtesan Ninon de l'Enclos because it just nails it. Constant presence suffocates interest. It's like a meal that's way too rich. Scarcity, on the other hand, keeps people hungry. It keeps that sense of mystery and desire alive and kicking.
Okay, so this all sounds incredibly powerful. I get it. But how do you actually do this without just ghosting people and looking like a flake or a jerk? This is about being strategic, not arrogant. So let's break down exactly how you can master the withdrawal in the real world.
Now listen up, because this is the single most important rule in the entire playbook. You absolutely cannot forget this. Absence is only powerful after you've already established your presence. If you disappear from a group before anyone knows who you are, you're not mysterious. You're just forgotten. You can't be missed if you were never seen in the first place.
So there's a clear sequence here. Step 1, you have to establish your value. At work, this means after you've nailed a big project, you don't just hang around in every single meeting. You get more selective. In your personal life, after a few amazing dates where you've shown your best self, you don't need to text 24/7. You create some space. Once you've solidified your image in their mind, then you pivot to pulling back. After that, you create a pattern of presence and absence, which keeps them guessing and constantly reinforces your high value. This chart really lays out the whole roadmap for you. That initial phase where you're all in, that's your ascension. You're everywhere. But to move to the refinement phase, to build that real power and mystique, you have to shift to scarcity. This is how you avoid becoming just a familiar, low-value part of the background. Not making this transition is the critical mistake most people make.
So let's bring all this together.
This isn't about playing manipulative games. Far from it. This is about a fundamental shift in how you value your own time, your own life, and your own purpose.
Because here's the real secret. The most powerful kind of unavailability isn't a tactic, it's authentic. It's the natural result of living a life that is so full, so consumed with your own mission and your own goals that you genuinely don't have time for nonsense. Your scarcity becomes an honest, undeniable signal of a life being lived to the fullest.
And that brings us to the final question I want to leave you with. I want you to take a hard look at your own life, your calendar, your text messages, your social commitments. What story is your availability telling the world? Is it a story of purpose and high value, or is it the story of someone just waiting around for others to give their time meaning? In the end, your availability is your autobiography. Make sure it's telling the right story.